Let's talk about some of the trends you found in your report. So you've got global IPO volumes falling, but proceeds are rising. Can you explain this trend for us?
Well, basically, if we look at the IPO trends for the first quarter in 2024, we need to break it down into different regions. The trend is what it is because Europe, EMEA, and the US, they're doing pretty good. But overall, the statistic has been dragged down by the poor performance in China and mediocre performance in Hong Kong as well. So this is why we are seeing IPO numbers increase, and then the IPO proceed also decrease because more smaller deals there are across the globe.
So you're anticipating, Bloomberg's been doing some reporting that supported a lot of what you've found, particularly in terms of a pickup in South Korea, India. You mentioned Japan there as well. What's the environment for IPOs in Japan in particular right now?
I think the Japan market is quite unique because the economy is growing okay, but there are lots of government policies stimulating the dividend policy or the redemption policy, which lead to the very booming IPO or the stock markets. When the BOJ now ends the negative interest rate era, but as we can all agree, the strength is quite moderate at this point of time. So I would expect a lot of the IPO candidates, they will adopt and wait and see approach to see whether these would have any effect on their IPO plans. So in short, I would expect the Japan IPO market to be still active for quite some time, at least through to the third quarter of this year.
In terms of sectors and themes, it's unsurprising that tech is showing so much leadership, right? Is this all down to chips and AI-related names?
I do think AI would be another very important category of companies because from our report, we found that a lot of AI, they are pretty much in the PE and VC stage. And also, we have seen quite a bit of PE VC backed company going to the IPO market, which is an indication of PE VC. They do find the valuation is right at this point of time. So I do expect, apart from the tech companies, the AI related company would be another major source of IPO candidate throughout this year.
I wanted to ask about Hong Kong. Obviously, this has been such a struggle for the market, and losing Sanya, whilst that withdrawal was perhaps not a surprise for those that have been watching developments. How much of a sentiment hit is that for the pipeline?
From my perspective, I do have a cautious optimistic for the IPO market activities in Hong Kong because we are expecting a interest rate cut, although there are some uncertainties, but the market, I think they have already factored in. And we have also seen the application increasing in the first quarter when compared to last year. And also for those listed companies in the first quarter, the aftermarket performance of those companies, they have been pretty impressive, even up to today. So I think the market sentiment is there. And we have adequate candidates, just like the manufacturing company, the consumer industry company coming from China, as the Chinese market has been placing on a very tough scrutiny on IPO candidates. So these candidates will probably land in the Hong Kong market. It is now a matter of whether the IPO candidate and investor can agree on the valuations, so this market sentiment can continue into the second half of the year.
Just want to circle back to those remarks you were making about AI-related IPOs, obviously the hot topic of the moment. I'm just wondering if you found any evidence of 90s .com style exuberance in this space.
At this point of time, we need to still adopt a wait-and-see approach because most of the AI companies, they are still in the early stage. But from our data, we see a lot of them. We have also talked to a lot of them, and from their representative, it is actually they really want to tap on the IPO market to expand their operations. So we would expect to see quite a bit of AI company going in debut in the IPO market across the world.